When a 10-year-old boy gave his lunch to a starving stranger under a bridge, he thought he'd never see him again. But years later, during his graduation speech, that same man walked through the crowd and revealed a truth that silenced the entire hall. The city of Brookstone was alive with noise, horns, chatter, and rushing feet. But under an old stone bridge, silence lived. That's where Daniel, a young boy of 10, spotted a man sitting against the wall, his clothes torn, eyes hollow, and hands trembling. Daniel was walking home from school, clutching his brown lunch bag. He hesitated. His mom had told him never to talk to strangers. But something about the man's eyes, they didn't look dangerous, just hungry. The man looked up weakly. "Hey, kid, do you know what time it is?" Daniel checked his watch. 4:20, he said softly. The man smiled faintly. "Been a long day." Daniel looked at the lunch bag in his hands. He hadn't eaten since noon, but he couldn't walk away. "Sir, are you hungry?" The man looked embarrassed. "I'll be fine, kid." Daniel shook his head and handed him the bag. "My mom says kindness makes the world less cold." The man's lips trembled as he took it. He opened the bag, a peanut butter sandwich, an apple, and a juice box. He bit into it slowly, tears filling his eyes. "Thank you," he whispered. Daniel smiled and waved before running home. He didn't tell his mom. He didn't tell anyone. That small act stayed in his heart for years. 10 years later. Daniel was now 18, tall, bright, full of ambition. He'd just been chosen to give the valedictorian speech at his high school graduation. His mom sat in the front row, crying proudly. As Daniel stepped onto the stage, lights blinding his eyes, he smiled and began. "My mother once told me, one small act of kindness can change a life. 10 years ago, I met a man under a bridge who taught me that lesson better than anyone. He didn't have much, but his gratitude stayed with me forever." The crowd smiled warmly, but before he could continue, someone stood up at the back of the hall. A tall man in a suit. He slowly walked toward the stage. The crowd murmured. Security hesitated, unsure what was happening. Then the man spoke, voice trembling. "That boy was me." Gasps filled the auditorium. Daniel froze, his eyes wide, his mouth open in disbelief. The man walked closer, tears shining in his eyes. "I was homeless. I'd lost everything. My job, my family, my will to live. That day under the bridge, I thought it was my last day on earth. Then this boy gave me his lunch. That sandwich gave me hope. I promised myself that if I ever got back on my feet, I'd find him." The crowd fell silent, hearts pounding. "I rebuilt my life, got therapy, and started a company that helps the homeless. And today, I came here not as a stranger," his voice broke, "but as someone who owes his life to you, Daniel." Tears rolled down Daniel's face. He stepped forward and hugged the man tightly as the audience rose in a standing ovation. The man whispered, "You didn't just feed me, son. You saved me." Daniel sobbed into his shoulder. His mother wept in the crowd, clutching her heart. Later that evening, as the sunset painted the sky orange, the man, whose name was David Cross, joined Daniel and his mom for dinner. "I searched for years," David said, smiling softly. "I only remembered your face, your backpack, and that you said your mom told you kindness made the world less cold. I never forgot those words." Daniel's mom smiled tearfully. "You're proof that my boy's kindness mattered." David raised his glass to kindness, the smallest act that built a future. Daniel nodded, and to never letting the world grow too cold. They laughed, they cried, they ate together, not as strangers, but as a family connected by one act of warmth in a cold world. That night, David made one final surprise. He handed Daniel an envelope. Inside was a scholarship letter, full tuition for his dream university. Daniel's jaw dropped. "Mr. Cross, what?" David smiled. "I can't repay what you gave me, Daniel, but maybe this helps you give hope to someone else one day." Daniel hugged him again, tears streaming freely. Years later, Daniel became a social worker, helping lost souls find homes and purpose. And every time he handed food to a hungry stranger, he whispered the same words his mother once said: "Kindness makes the world less cold."